I've actually forgotten to press the record button. So sorry. So I'm just going to recap a minute. Forgive me, Jennifer. So the first thing I picked up was that Peggy has just eaten, or she's feeling satiated in her stomach. And then I got this feeling of this emotion as that came up in her, this opportunity to be heard, and she thinks it's really important that humans hear. And she said that it's really important to take notes, which is interesting because I wasn't recording it, which is another way of taking notes. Yeah, okay. She says she's really happy with the house that she's in, with her home, with you, and that I feel like we could see her, but I feel like she's showing me that she perambulated around it when she first came. There's a feeling of her, checking out the perimeter. She's talking about the lights now. I think she's talking about now she'd like the lights a bit lower. But please, if you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind leaving, but well, sorry, Peggy, but otherwise we won't be able to see you, Peggy. I know it's irritating. Yes. She also hears, she says she hears rustlings outside. There's mice or something. I don't know, you've got a shed or in the garden, but she's hearing rustlings in leaves. I think she's quite a rodent-y type. Sometimes they're bird people and sometimes they're rodents, and obviously they're both, but I feel like she's a bit more rodent orientated in her hunting requirements.
You're dead right.
Okay. She said she felt really itchy on her ruff, and I believe this is when you first got her, so I don't know if she had fleas or something, but I feel like I was really itchy around there. And yeah, and she said that her tongue was very furry, as in plaque, like a plaque on it, when you first had her. I think the timing doesn't always work terribly, because they just give it to me as images sometimes, and I have to try and find out where it is in time. But I feel it's like the food that she was given wasn't brilliant, so it was kind of like being on, I don't know, McDonald's for months, and so there was like a there's something where she was her body was, I don't know why a cat would get plaque on their tongue, but my mind's going down the road of Chinese medicine or something, where it feels like the body's trying to detox or something. But she feels like all of that's great, and her water quality is really good, she says. Do you give her spring water or something? Yeah, okay. So because they often moan about tap water, actually, but she says her water quality is really good. She likes the quality of her water.
Well, she's nice, really fussy about her water. She has a special water pot, and she'll only drink it next to the bed that she sleeps on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's extremely fussy. How funny.
Yeah. Great. Okay. And she just feels like she's completely with the right people or the right person. She feels completely, I feel like you're not on your own, Jennifer. Is that right?
No, yeah, my husband's downstairs.
Right, okay. So I feel like there was somebody else, and I saw it as a man, and it's just the absolute right amount of feeling special and equal and belonging and not being mithered all the time. So that you're kind of like having these parallel lives. Like a cat has a kind of parallel life, don't they? Yeah, it just feels like exactly the right balance between having her own space and, not being being messed with or stroked all the time, and but feeling completely like she belongs. I'm also seeing her, I know lots of cats do this, I just have to say what I get, even if it's stereotypical, but she's showing me her also sitting almost at the dining table or the kitchen table on a chair, so it's almost like you may be sitting on a chair at the table to eat, and it's almost like she's there with you, or there's something. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, she's really funny. Whenever we eat, she always comes in and has her own food.
Ah, right. Oh,
when we
okay.
eat, she likes to have a bit of her own. She will never eat our food ever, but she
Right.
likes to show that she's got her own food, and she'll often walk around the floor, around the table, and then go to her own food.
Ah, right. She said there were a lot of other cats around her and she feels sorry for those other cats. And some of them had come, I feel like it's somebody who had more than one colour on them, and that might have had white and other colours on them, sort of white and black, but another colour as well. And this is a cat I'm talking about. I think it was a female cat. And she had been with an old lady, and then that old lady hadn't been able to look after her anymore, and she's concerned about those cats because she's just concerned that they went to a right place. Was she living at any point, was she living in a place where there were other cats, like a rescue, was she in a rescue place where there were other cats?
It's really interesting. We were told that she did belong to an old lady, and the old lady gave her up, and she was living on a gypsy caravan site or something. And then when we collected her, she was in a cage with lots of other cats.
Right.
So I don't know for how long she'd been there, or whether the other old lady had other cats as well, but definitely when we collected her, she was with other cats. And weirdly, I do remember a tabby cat with a white front.
Yeah, I sort of got white here, and then maybe a bit on my face or something.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, she was.
Right. Okay. And it was a female, and there was a one that was much whiter, a very white one, and I don't know if that was a boy or a girl. And but that one was very unhappy in that situation and was less, maybe less manageable for human. I feel like that he might be a bit frightened and a bit scratchy. Okay. She's talking about a newspaper, and I'm seeing it actually. I know we look at a lot of news online, don't we now? But I'm actually was shown an actual newspaper, and that then there's, I don't know if this is your husband that's reading this or you, but then there's conversation between the two of you about what's in the paper.
When would that have been? Like recently or now, or?
I don't know. I thought the way I interpreted it was that this was something that it's hard for me. I just got an image of a newspaper being flat, and somebody, I thought it was your husband reading it, and then there's a kind of a little exchange between, oh, this is happening, blah blah blah, and then you're responding, and then it goes like that. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, yes, we quite often do the crossword in the newspaper. It could be that.
The discussion about the crossword.
Yeah.
But it feels like there's quite pause. It's not like, whoa, it's not like lots of rabbiting on like that. It felt like it was quite a peaceful.
We'd sit with it for hours, probably.
Right. And it is actually a newspaper. It's not on the internet or anything. Oh, okay. No, so that's definitely what she's talking about.
It's the Sunday Times.
Oh, right. Oh, well done.
Yeah.
My grandma, who's in spirit, would be in extreme competition. She did the Times crossword for years.
Did she?
Right until she was no longer able to see. Yeah. And it wasn't very easy, as I remember.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And she's saying that your husband's got a good sense of humor and that you have fun. So sometimes I feel like he's making little quips and it's funny.
Yes.
And she feels all part of that. But there's something that your husband does with something. I'm just going to get, this is my dust cleaner for my computer. I don't know, is his hat or something? He's going like that. Is there a hat? He does something like that and that annoys her.
Oh, really?
It's not tea towel? Don't know. Hat, tea towel. He goes like that with something. She's quite particular, I feel.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know. I didn't know that it was a hat, or I can't see what it is, but it's something, and it's kind of a bit. She thinks it's unnecessary, and he's a bit. So just see if you notice him doing that, or ask him.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like that.
Don't like it.
There's hedge trimming going on. Hedge trimming. She doesn't like that. No. She doesn't like all this noise. It's all the noise and everything. You know, it's the like what? It's the mechanical. You know, is there hedge trimming going on?
He's had the hedge trimmer out an awful lot just recently, and it's sitting in the garage, and she walks around it with complete disdain.
Yeah. So as I'm talking to her, you know, I'm totally feeling, well, it's obvious, isn't it, that she's very much a very, very ladylike.
Yes.
Very dignified. A lot of female cats are like this, but not all of them. And I feel like she's quite an evolved, she's a very wise, evolved person.
Oh, she is.
And she's very dignified. She wouldn't be horrible to anybody.
No.
She would set a boundary. Yeah. You know, she would set a boundary, but she wouldn't intentionally. She's very respectful. And she's saying she demonstrates a way for humans to be. She demonstrates another way for humans to be. And she's given me a little sort of human image of a paw holding a human hand, as if the paw is a human hand, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So it's kind of like, it wouldn't actually happen like that, but as if we're walking side by side and they're there to hold our hands so that we can improve our behavior, really, you know, to have an honor code, or to be honorable, or to raise our standards. It's that kind of feeling.
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah. She doesn't like it either, or she doesn't. I'm seeing the food around a food bowl, but it going outside of the food bowl and it's splatting a bit on the floor, and she doesn't like that. She likes that to be cleaned up.
Yes, she's extremely fussy about that.
Yeah. Sorry, I chuckle because that's she really likes hygiene, actually.
Yeah.
I wished I hadn't done that to the duster, because I've got dust up my nose. Serves me right.
You wouldn't like that.
Oh, maybe it's a duster that your husband's doing. I don't know. Okay. She wants you, I'm just asking what her message is before we finish, and she wants you to get out in the fresh air more. She wants you walking or running. I don't know about running, but walking. She wants some exercise and fresh air and movement. She thinks that's really good for you. She said it gets off, it stops you thinking about, there's certain preoccupation, and we all have preoccupations, don't we, as humans, but it feels like there's certain painful or preoccupations, and as you like that, it feel like they drop away.
She loves it if you're outside in the garden with her and you run after her. She'll put her ears back and she's actually asking you to run after her.
Really?
Outside. That's in the garden.
Unusual.
And I haven't been around recently. I've been working too much, so she's probably missed me doing that.
And does she think the play is good for you, do you think? She feels like she's doing it because she thinks it's good for you.
Yes, she probably does. Yes. Yeah.
All right. Funny, I've never known a cat want to be chased.
Oh, she loves it.
Yeah.
She absolutely loves it. She asks for it.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Jennifer. I hope we've got a bit confused in places, but hopefully there's enough there for you to feel we made the link. Yeah, and of course it won't be her fault; it'll be my fault.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bless her. Yeah.